again, local.
Must have time to gather my will.
shall cast you into a pit of infinite tortures.
Show me mortality. Resist the assault!
Must be punished!
Kirek, I'll send you.
Put on a good show. Struggle or strangle.
Skin you alive!
Under this grim terrors.
Out! Strike!
Another challenger.
Force of the...
Grip of the infinite.
I shall free
The void
Lose him!
protects its children.
weight of law! I must have time to gather my will.
A veil of safety and security. Such wild desperation. This has been most entertaining. Take the prize. Another round will commence as soon as I have more competitors.
Welcome back. Animate Weapon of Self-Reflection. Big updates. Our damage has gone up a good amount. So we're looking at 12 million now with the upgrades. And that's the floor. And I think I need to fix the configuration. I'll make sure to perfect the POB and link it in the description. But there's a little bit more actually than this is just like the minimum. And in fact, I think it's supposed to be a little higher than that. So some things that will make that damage go up is going to be our Animate Guardian and the Assassin's Mark effect. So anytime one of our minions hits an enemy that has the Assassin's Mark, so that'll be the bosses, they will have a chance to gain a power charge. And there's only 6 of them, and I'm trying to slow down how frequently I replace them, because every time you replace them, the new one doesn't have charges yet. But the Animate Guardian, which we finally got to squeeze in because of the 6-link Rakiata's dance I was talking about. So Spectres, Guardian, Minion Life, Meat Shield, Feeding Frenzy, and Empower. We'll get this to a level 4 Empower later, but that's more expensive. The Animate Guardian, whose item set will be in the POB that I'll link in the description. He's wearing Gravebind to get credit for kills, and then Victario's Charity for the shield. So whenever he takes credit for a kill, which is going to be most of them if he's in range, there's a radius to getting credit for the kill, but it's wide enough to work. And that's every time he gets credit for a kill, he's going to grant a power charge to nearby allies. Anytime he smacks an enemy, he has a 5% chance to get a frenzy charge. So those are less common, but you can still expect some frenzy charges, at least sometimes, right? What's happening besides just the Victorious Charity, besides the power charges, which I'll go ahead and show real quick. If we're going to be reasonable and assume that our boys all have 2 power charges and 1 frenzy charge. It could be higher, but I think this is reasonable. Just it's an average among all 6 of them, right? Then our damage goes all the way over 14 million. But besides that, you saw I actually took out the melee splash and continued mapping. That's because we've also got explosion on the mace and explosion from Impulse's Broken Heart on the Animate Guardian. So enemies need to be shocked for Impulse's Broken Heart to trigger, but they're going to be shocked pretty much all the time. Animate weapons at 76% chance to crit. And that's with power charges, but even if we turn off the power and frenzy charges, we're still over 60% chance to crit. Every time they crit, they're going to shock and freeze on non-freeze immune enemies. So impulses will proc, and then the dragon mace here. It doesn't matter. You can get this. You can buy really cheap maces with the explode mod. I spent, I think, like 15 chaos on this one just because it also has the melee splash mod. The melee splash mod has that added increased area damage mod, which helps with the explosions a bit, but it's not crucial. So you saw taking out melee splash normally turns the map into a slog, but it was still clearing. And it also improves single target, so if you end up with a lot of wildwood juice on some really tanky rares, maybe you're better off going full single target if you got the Explody AG. So he's really tanky, even without wearing particularly tanky gear. Finally put on that Eye of Malice I was talking about. Really helps. Increasing the enemy fire and cold resists, of course, turns into more penetration for the sword. It does anti-synergize with the fire explode, but it doesn't affect the lightning damage from the impulse it explodes. And then we give him the brittle boots. So as long as we are close enough to the enemy that Animate Guardian's going to walk over and attack him, then the brittle ground has a wide enough radius that it will be under the boss. So this is a reliable debuff. You can see Brittle is making 1.5 million damage difference. And this is against Shaper. This is Shaper DPS. I feel like this is actually a realistic expectation because this feels about right. You can see the damage is really taken off. And our survivability isn't quite too shabby. I'm not going to lie. That map, both the Elderslayers and the map easily could have been, if I wasn't careful, could have got myself killed a few times there, but no deaths is better footage, right? Some other updates, I squeezed in a raise and pillage. We are now at the DPS point that, let's see, even without the charges, animate weapons at leech cap. And if we take off one of the Feasting Fiends, we're still at leech cap, even though the cap's a little smaller because their life pool's smaller. But that means now we're now at the point, I think it's once you break around 10 million, I don't know the exact number, but it also depends on your minion's life. But at some point, you no longer need a second Feasting Fiends to hit leech cap. So we can replace this, and I haven't decided yet what to do, but it's only going to be a small improvement once that happens. I walked over and grabbed Death Attunement. It was between anointing Death Attunement or walking over there, but we're so close, it's just one node. And then these small nodes really aren't bad. Damage life, 16% damage, those aren't bad. So for now, that's where I'm going. And that's cranked us up to 3 Spectres. And unfortunately, I liked him, but I was overestimated his value. The Perfect Spirit of Fortune really isn't worth keeping in this build. One thing I didn't realize is that the lucky lightning damage really doesn't affect the shock effect you get. It doesn't at all increase the top end possible damage of the lightning damage rolls. It just makes you more likely to hit the higher lightning rolls. So we've got enough attack speed and crit that we can expect to get the best possible shock outcome pretty reliably enough anyway, without the lucky rolls. So it was increasing lightning damage, but it probably wasn't doing anything for our shocks. what I've replaced him with, well, 2 Spectres replaced him. The first new one I want to talk about is the Perfect Forest Warrior, and I've got an extra one here in the stash. I'll go ahead and show. He has Culling Strike, which probably procced on those Elderslayers. I wasn't really able to see. No thanks to the Naval Officer, which I'll get to in a second. He has Culling Strike, and he gives everybody Onslaught. So, I haven't gotten my I haven't filled this new charm socket because I literally just got it. Actually, right before recording, I walked into the woods and I was just gonna collect a bunch of wisps and do the map, but I killed whatever the stupid king is that took forever to find. I finally got him. He's easy when you have high DPS. When you don't have high DPS, there's mechanics I think you have to think about. But I didn't have to think about the mechanics. So I'll get a 3rd charm. That won't warrant a new video. I'm probably not going to make another video until I have like a really nice boss kill or like a break over 20 million DPS. I will have linked in the description a Maven kill video, which went really well. And we've got Uber Elder soon, but I don't think I'm going to upload that. Anyway, so yeah, right before the video, I finally got that guy. Let me do this trade. I should have been in deity, but I'll do this trade here. I'm not going to turn down 40 chaos. Give me that. What's he buying? That's not even that good of a ring. You're wasting your money, brother. Gimme. Alright, get out of here. Okay. So, AG, again, his item set will be here. Remember that if you don't use POB like this, you have to create a new item set, new, type in the name, and then load it up, copy and paste items from game. If you don't do that, you're never gonna have a record of what you actually put on your AG, and you might not know for sure if he's got his resistances capped. So that's highly recommended before you do your AG. Go ahead and plan it out in POB, copy and paste, and just keep it recorded so you know exactly what he's got. And that also lets you know, of course, his health. Let's go here. You have to change him to his AG. So like mine's at 69,000, nice. And he's way over cap on the resists, except for the chaos resist. The one bad thing about Victoria's Charity is that it's not enough chaos resist to max him out, but I think the chaos damage is not what's ever gonna kill him if he ever does get killed. It's probably gonna be a mechanic from an Uber boss, which isn't usually chaos damage. So, 3rd Spectre is our Naval Officer. If you saw a giant wave cluttering up the screen so you can't tell what the hell is going on, that's this guy with the pirate hat. He needs to calm down. GGG needs to do something about the effects of some of these specters. They are Aurabots. GGG, Chris. These are Aurabots. They are not DPS. They think they are DPS, but they are not. They don't get to take over the screen. This guy summons a wave that looks like Surf from Gen 1 Pokemon, just the whole screen. We don't need that, because it's doing no damage. He's also doing the bombs, like some imaginary ships in the sky or something, or shooting cannonballs all over the screen. Also, way too much. Chris, please, do something about this. Let me turn it off. Let me get my invisible effect on the Spectre attacks. Like, I still want to see him follow me around. The AG knows how to behave, right? He just follows me on and he's a good boy and he does what he does. All he is a precision aura. Please do something about this. Hopefully, especially if the Spectres stick around permanently after the league. I really hope they do something about the visuals, because the screen clutter is crazy. So, yeah, with the sword, I'll reiterate, you want to, if you're doing this build, you just want to get like a 5-link Rakiatas, or the links really don't even matter that much. Just decide what you want to put in there. Just use the 6 sockets, and just get something with decent rolls. It doesn't really matter that much. The sword is relatively cheap if you don't worry about the rolls so much, and they're not actually that important. But when you decide to go ahead for a 6-link, I'm going to recommend you spend the money on a well-rolled Rakiata stance. Get it to 30% quality, get your 6 sockets, get it to 3 blue, 3 red, and then hit it with Farici. Make sure you get something so that you can squeeze in 4 blues and 2 reds. Make sure that outcome. There's an omen that helps, I was told in comments. There's an omen that helps you get white sockets too. I don't know how expensive it is. And then, only then, once you got your colors and everything, and it's at 30% quality, and you got it enchanted, then go ahead and hit it with the fusings, and you should be able to 6-link it pretty quickly. 30% gives you really high chances of linking it quickly. I got super lucky. I had to spend less than 100 total jewels and fusings, but that's below average. And once we get a 4th Spectre, I'm thinking I'm going to give the Gracebird another chance. I don't know yet. A perfect naval officer and a Kingmaker for the AG are the next big upgrades. Both of them giving plus 10 fortification, so we'll all be at 20 fortification and another 20, not really fortification, but basically fortification from the big boy, taking 20% of the damage from our hits. Build should be a lot tankier. I'm going to try and find some all-max. Only problem, we're not going to get a 4th Spectre without a +1 amulet. So, unless there's... I don't want to corrupt the Rakiata stance. The 60% accuracy is actually really helpful. So a +1 amulet with armor and high life, and I'll just get the resist somewhere else. That plus a all max corrupt, that's going to be expensive. But maybe a corrupted replica covenant. We'll have to see. So we're at that stage where we've got a little spell suppression too. So not a lot is going to improve the build without spending a lot of divs. So this might be I don't know how many more updates. If I get some nice boss kill, I'll upload that too. That's not mine. He's messaging the wrong guy. That's funny. This guy's doing Poison Zoo. He's using the Grasping Mail. He's my friend. He's using the Grasping Mail with the all minions have 60% chance to poison on a body armor. He's doing that with Skellies and carrying Golem of Hordes and zombies and specters and SRS on a totem. It's crazy. And he's at like 30 million DPS right now or something probably. Actually going really well for him. I hope he makes videos. But this build, I'm just stoked that I'm finally getting this to work and doing way better than Gazzy's attempt at it. Did you see Gazzy talk about Animate Weapon of Self-Reflection? He was saying it sucks and you have to leap slam and it's only 4 or 5 million. No, you know what you're doing wrong is you're not using Assassin's Mark. You're not scaling crit. You're not pushing the build. You can get this well to 6 or 7 million on a decent budget, even on like a 5-link. The Devouring Diadem is coming down in price, and so is this. And unless for some reason this build gets popular or someone else finds a use for it, Replica Covenant's not going to get more expensive. God, people leave me alone. I'm trying to do a video. I went ahead and tried to slam some minion damage with Redeemer's Orb on both of my crappy rings, but didn't get lucky. It's too bad. You can get minion damage. And that covers all the upgrades. I think I'm going to stick with a nice healthy belt for now. It's probably going to have to be some very expensive jewels to be worth a Darkness Enthroned, which will need to be close to 100, if not 100% anyway, which is also going to be really expensive. So I'm thinking I'll just Hunter Slam good Stygian Vices until I get one with T1 percentage life, and that'll probably be what I want to wear in the long term, because the problem with this build is doesn't seem to be damage to the point that I'll take such a little chunk. The problem seems to be being kind of squishy, being low on life, right? But that's where it's at. And let me know if you have any questions or ideas, or if you're going to try the build out, how it's going for you. Thanks for watching.